Hey guys, it's Andrea from the blog Pine and Prospect Home, and I want to make sure, I'm looking at my camera here, I want to make sure you guys can see this beautiful beam behind me that we just installed in our entryway. We're still working on this project, giving it a little refresh, painting all the trim. It only has one coat of paint right now. Today's video is all about the 10-year anniversary of us living in our home, the lessons I've learned over the past 10 years, maybe some of my biggest regrets, and also some super exciting news that I want to share with you guys. I'm gonna save that for the end of this video. So unfortunately, you're just gonna have to watch the whole video to get what that news is. But I promise, I think that it'll be an encouragement to you. I think that you'll learn some things from it. Hopefully, that's always my desire and my goal with these videos is to bless people and to, I don't know, just share my experience in hopes that maybe it helps somebody else. I wanna be able to help people through this channel. So, but let's just talk for a second about this situation happening behind me because I'm freaking out a little bit over it. These are the same beams that we pulled from that barn like 2 years ago. My friend was going to burn her barn down. It was it was no longer safe to go into the barn. It was collapsing. And so my dad and my husband went in and they salvaged as much as they could from that barn before the fire department burned it down. And so we are still using those. I just keep finding places throughout my home. I'm like, okay, I use them in the kitchen. I use them in the back entryway. Where else can I use these gorgeous beams that some strong, hardworking men hewed out of trees? It's so special to me. Okay. I've said enough about that. Just had to give you a sneak peek. I love it so much. I'd love to know what you guys think. If you follow me over on Instagram, I know you've already seen sneak peeks of this project, but I just had to share it with you guys. So today I'm talking about the 10-year anniversary of our home. You guys, we moved into our home in 2012. March of 2012, I remember the day perfectly. I remember signing the papers. I remember the first night we slept in our home and I cried tears of joy. It was one of the most exciting nights. I could barely sleep that night because I was just so excited. I can't really talk about it because I'll get emotional. I can feel my throat getting tight because it was just, the whole story is an absolute miracle and blessing of the Lord. And man, God is so good. He's so good. And I have that whole story on my blog if you ever want to check it out for some encouragement. If you feel like you're in a place where maybe a home doesn't seem possible, I can tell you that it is possible. And so I just want to talk today about some of the things that I've learned in the last 10 years of living here, some of the biggest regrets that I've had in terms of decor and design, and just share those thoughts with you, and hopefully it'll be an encouragement to you today. So I had to jot a few of these things down for you guys because I just had so many thoughts, and I wanted to narrow it down to about 5 different things. So I have 5 things here that I've written down, and the very first lesson learned, I guess, or regret, let's say this is probably one of my biggest regrets in the last 10 years of living in this home, and I have written down settling on design decisions just to save money. So settling, what does that mean when you settle on something? Like you're just, it's not exactly what you wanted, but you're just gonna settle because you want to save some money. Now, don't get me wrong. There are times in life where I believe, yes, you just need to settle on what you have at that moment. I don't think you should go into debt in order to afford the things you really love. You guys know that. You know that about me. I am all about creating that, creating the home that you love, but on a budget. At the same time though, I don't think that you should just settle on certain design decisions in order to get a project done quick because you're just trying to save money. Okay, so let me give you an example of that. I remember when we moved into our home and we didn't have a lot of money and we were trying to save as much as we possibly could, and paint is not cheap. I remember I thought paint was expensive back when we first got married 10 years ago. I want to say it was like under $20 a gallon, and I thought that was expensive. Now paint, oh my goodness, it's over $30 for sure. If you want high quality paint, it's close to $50 a gallon. It's unbelievable. But back then, I'm like, oh, paint, it's so much money. And we wanted to paint all the walls in our home. They were all kinds of different colors. And so we went to my in-laws And we asked them if they had any spare paint. We went to my parents and asked them if they had any spare paint. And oh yeah, I've got a half gallon of this yellow paint that I used, 3, 4, 5, 7 years ago. See if this works. And so we used that paint. Now looking back on that memory, does it make me smile a little bit? Thinking about how far we've come? Absolutely, it makes me laugh, and my husband and I love. I'm sure you guys all agree. We can all share stories of, when money was tight and when, it was just, it makes us smile to think about like what we did to save money. And we painted my dining room this bright yellow color because, I wanted to save money. Was I in love with the color yellow? Not necessarily, but I was so desperate to save money and just change, the brown color that was there to something brighter that I settled. If you have to, try to save for what you truly want instead of just rushing into a design decision or settling on materials or paint or whatever it is just to save money, because you're just gonna have to change it down the road. Number 2, choosing what was trendy. So maybe this is another regret, another lesson learned. So maybe my lesson learned should be, don't choose what is trendy instead of what is timeless. I've told you guys this before. I made some trendy choices. I remember my whole house was decorated with like turquoise and chevron and birds everywhere. And hey, when it comes to decor, that's not a huge deal. You can sell your old decor. You can have a garage sale and you can get rid of that or donate it. But when it comes to design decisions in your home, when you're picking out tile for a backsplash in your kitchen or tile for a bathroom, you don't want to choose maybe what's super popular right now. You really want to study it, analyze, and really make sure that the decision, the tile that you're choosing is something that is going to stand the test of time. It's not going to be something that you want to get rid of in 5 or 10 years. So like when we redid our bathroom downstairs, it was bad. That was one space that the previous owner, he hadn't gotten to that yet. And he told us that up front, when we were purchasing the home. And we chose some trendy tile for that shower. And I wish that I hadn't done that. I wish I had just stayed true to the 1930s vibe of the home. And thankfully we made a wise choice with our kitchen backsplash. We went with a classic subway tile, which I know some people might argue, well, that's the safe choice, that's boring. But it truly is timeless, and it's true to the home, and it's what you would have found in the home 100 years ago. It really can't go out of style. And so I would really challenge you to choose things for your home that are timeless and not trendy. So the third lesson that I've learned in the 10 years of living in this home is to really live in your space for a while, live in your home for a while before you decide how you want a room to work for you. So what do I mean by that? A perfect example of this, I would say, would be our sunroom. You guys know that we lived in this home for about 8 years before we ever tackled that sunroom. And for a long time, I didn't know how that sunroom would serve us. At one point, I put the boys' toys out there, and that didn't really work for a while. They didn't really go out there to play. And then at another point, I decided I was just gonna make it like an extra seating area. People tended, to want to stay in the living room when family came over. We really had to live here for a while to figure out, okay, what's the best use of that sunroom? And how could we utilize this space to the best, how can we use that small square footage, but, use it in the best way possible? And eventually I came up with this plan and this idea to create more storage with these vertical bookcases, to create a window bench along those 3 windows, really highlight all of the windows in this space and turn the other side into an office. And it took 8 years to get to that point, 8 years to realize, okay, this would be the best use of this space. I have an office space where I can close the doors, but I still feel part of my home, as I'm out there working. So just really living in your home for a while, like if you move into a home, be careful not to jump into projects without really living in the home and figuring out how it's going to serve you, if that makes sense. Even when it comes to furniture layouts and deciding, if you're gonna buy furniture, really just living in the home at least for a couple months, to decide, okay, what's the best layout and what type of couch should we look for this space? Should we look for a sectional or should we look for something smaller? So that's the third lesson learned. So the fourth lesson that I've learned in this home would be, or the biggest regret I would say, is just buying a bunch of cheap furniture to fill the space. So like, oh, I need a side table for over here. And oh, I think I need something for the wall over here. So I'm just gonna buy whatever I see at the thrift store just to throw it on the walls, just to decorate. I don't really think you should do that. I don't think that's wise. I think you're gonna end up having a lot of garage sales and going through a lot of furniture. And again, I understand wanting to save money, and sometimes you just have to make do with what you have. But now I'm starting to realize, okay, I'd rather invest and save up for something I really, really love and invest in that and keep it for a lifetime, rather than, you know, buying all of this cheap stuff and then, you know, I realize, well, it's not what I truly loved to begin with. I just got it because it was cheap. I just, you know, it was $5. I got excited, so I brought it home. And so again, I know how difficult it is when you're working with a small budget and you're trying to decorate your home without a lot of, you know, with a little bit of money. But just having some restraint, showing some reservation, and really trying to hone in on what speaks to you, and what is going to bring joy, what is going to bring you joy in your home. And I'm going to talk about that at the end of this video, so stay tuned for that. All right, and then finally, the last lesson that I have learned since living in this home, or the biggest regret, I guess these are all regrets, not to be a downer, but what I have learned is that it's not wise. It is never wise to compare your home to somebody else's, and especially to compare your home to someone who's further along than you are. My dad says this a lot. He says a lot of people, you know, a lot of people in this younger generation, they want everything now that it took their parents 25, 30, 40 years to accumulate. And, you know, sometimes they go into debt over it because they're trying to keep up with the Joneses, because they see someone else and they feel like they should have all those same things, and if they don't, then their home isn't good enough, or it's not pretty enough, or whatever. And I just think it's so easy to fall into that comparison trap. So if this speaks to you, or you feel like, wow, this is something I really struggle with, I'm constantly comparing my home to other people's, I'm constantly feeling like I don't measure up, then I would encourage you, I have a video all about finding, being grateful in your home no matter what stage it's in. And I talk about how to find gratitude in that video. So I would encourage you to go over and watch that video. It's something that I've struggled with for sure. We all struggle with it. But you can really find so much gratitude in the little things. And so I'll put a card for that video so you can head over there and watch it. And with that being said, I have to share this this super exciting announcement with you guys. I'm giddy over this. I don't know why it's taken me a couple of years to come up with this, but for a long time I feel like I have wanted to connect on a deeper level with my audience. How can I really get to know, like, I care about you guys and you're important to me, and I'm looking for a way to connect on a deeper level. And it just dawned on me, why don't I host a live workshop? And it was just like, ding, ding, ding. I'm so excited about this, you guys. And I don't know if any of you will sign up. I hope some of you guys will sign up, but here are the details, okay? I'm going to host this live workshop on May 17th, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, okay? It'll be live. I'll have all the details in the description below. And I'm just gonna open it up for 50 people. I don't want it to get too huge or feel too overwhelming or feel like, you know, like there are too many people there. I want it to be intimate. And so I'm just gonna open it up for 50 slots. And you can click the link in the description below to sign up. And for this first live workshop, I have so many ideas for workshops, but for this first live workshop, I really wanna talk about defining your style, and how to define your style, and how to create a home that you love. But I want to take it a step further and talk about how to define that style and create that home that you love on a budget. And how do we do that when we don't have a lot of money? I want to talk about things like how I got from where I was 10 years ago in this home to where I am today. What steps did I take to get there? And how do you go from the vision that you have in your head of what you want your home to look like to like a plan of action. How do you do that? How do you get from point A to point B when it comes to your home and your style? And how do you decide what pieces to buy for your home? So when you click on the link in the description below, you're going to be sent an agenda for this workshop, what I'm gonna talk about, and we're also gonna open it up for questions. I would love to hear from you guys. Again, I want this to be a little bit more intimate. We're gonna dive deep. I really wanna know, because sometimes with YouTube videos, there are only so many comments I can get to. You know, I'm a mom with 4 little boys, and so at some point I just can't stay on YouTube all the time. But if I can take an hour and do a workshop with some of you, if you're interested, maybe none of you are, but if you're interested, I would love to do that and just dive deeper. And so again, click the link in the description below so you can hear more about that, or read more about that, I should say. But I'm really excited about this. I just cannot wait to meet some of you. I just want to meet some of you and talk to some of you, and I can't wait. I'm really excited if you can't tell. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you love my new beam and my entryway. I can't wait to share this space with you once I have it all finished. And I hope that some of these tips today were a help and an encouragement to you if you are a homeowner, or if you're looking to purchase a home, or maybe you've had your home for quite a while and you're still trying to figure out what your style is. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you are new to my channel, I would love for you to hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys next time. Bye guys.